What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, unified, 3-belt, welterweight, world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not number 1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr., he calls out undefeated Olympic silver medalist, 2-division world champion, former unified super featherweight world champion, superstar boxer Shakur Stevenson to fight his fighter in undefeated lightweight star title contender Frank the Ghost Martin, who is 17 wins, no loss, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach, right? This came because another lightweight title contender, star boxer, Olympian, in Keyshawn Davis. Okay, Keyshawn Davis is with Top Rank, and Keyshawn Davis, he stated that he wants to fight against Frank Martin, okay, as the on the undercard or the co-main event to Errol Spence highly anticipated welterweight undisputed showdown with Terence Bud Crawford. Now, Keyshawn Davis is 7 wins, no loss and no draw, 5 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'9" with a 70-inch arm reach. The biggest fight in boxing. Now, Errol Spence has signed Frank the Ghost Martin to Man Down Promotions, okay? And so Keyshawn Davis, he said, it's only right that I fight, the Ghost on the undercard of Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. Now, we know Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are back in negotiations. That's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. I will continue to say that's the biggest fight in boxing. Errol Spence holds the WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world titles. He's 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. Terence Crawford is the undefeated, former undisputed junior welterweight, 3-division world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, with a record of 39 wins, no loss and no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach, okay? So they're back in negotiations to stage the undisputed welterweight showdown between the two, okay? And so it's a highly anticipated showdown. And so Keyshawn Davis, being obviously privy to, some that they're in negotiations and they're talking about a fight. And Keyshawn Davis said he wanted to fight Frank Martin on the undercard. To which Errol Spence said, I don't know about you, and I don't know what the young pup and Keyshawn Davis is talking about, but Top Rank got him on a short leash. And the fight we would rather make is Frank the Ghost Martin versus Shakur Stevenson, who is now set to make his debut April 8th in his hometown, Newark, New Jersey, at the 135-pound limit. Okay, so Shakur Stevenson is going to make his debut at 135 in April. Okay, and Frank Martin, he had the biggest win in his career. He just beat Michelle Ali Rivera in his last fight. Okay, so he's officially a title contender. And Keyshawn Davis is a highly touted amateur who was Olympian, who stayed in the Olympics to attempt to become Olympic gold medalist. He came up short in the Olympics, okay? And so Errol Spence is stating that the fight they would much rather make is Shakur Stevenson. So when he put that out there, Shakur Stevenson, he immediately responded. As a competitor and as the champion he is, he immediately responded and said, I'm with it, right? And Keyshawn Davis then said, nah, Shakur. He said, listen, let me get him. Let me beat him, right? And Shakur said, hey, you can have him. I'm looking for all the quote-unquote big fish, right? Now, if you don't know, Errol Spence's mantra, his nickname is the big fish, okay? And so he says, I'm looking for all the big fish, right? So you can have Frank Martin, essentially alluding to Frank Martin not being a big draw, right? So Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson responds and he says, I just was letting them know I'm with it and I don't turn down no action, right? So Shakur Stevenson is in line to fight the winner of the undisputed lightweight world champion superstar boxer, undefeated Devin the Dream Haney, who has 29 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's going to face off against Olympic two-time gold medalist, three-division world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasyl High-Tech Lomachenko. That's going to take place May 20th in Las Vegas, Nevada. So the winner of that fight, Shakur Stevenson, is going to get the fight for the undisputed title. So that's why he's saying he's seeking out the big fish, okay? The biggest opportunities, which he's alluding to the winner of that fight, who obviously is either one, Lomachenko or Devin Haney, are more accomplished and obviously way ahead of Frank Martin in their careers, right? And so, he said he's still, he's with it though. So we got to see how that plays out, because Devin Haney, obviously, should he beat Lomachenko, he's going to be looking to make a massive fight happen with undefeated three-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who's going into a massive mega pay-per-view showdown with Ryan Garcia, who's undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight Mexican superstar title contender. Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis are scheduled to face off April 22nd in Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. Highly anticipated showdown. Now, Devin Haney's going to be looking to fight. Obviously, should Gervonta Tank Davis win the fight, he's definitely going to be looking to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. But in the same token, Shakur Stevenson is going to become the mandatory challenger for the winner of that fight. So we got to see how that unfolds and plays out. But if Devin Haney is able to secure a showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis in his next fight, then Shakur Stevenson versus Frank Martin as the co-main event to Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, is going to be enormous, right? That's just as big as fighting. Now, obviously, the accomplishments of fighting Devin Haney, because Devin Haney has a belt, or Lomachenko, they have all the belts, right? So accomplishment-wise. But to be the co-main event against Frank Martin, to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, undisputed welterweight, highly anticipated showdown, well, that speaks volumes in itself, okay? That is, exposure that you just can't get nowhere else. Now, obviously, Shakur Stevenson, he's used to fighting, and headlining his own cards, especially today's time, right? Shakur Stevenson is used to headlining his own cards and being the main event and, being the focal point. But, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, that fight is enormous, okay? And everybody's anticipating, waiting for that fight. So when the fight does happen, yeah, man, all eyes are going to be glued to it. So, but nonetheless, Frank Martin, Shakur Stevenson would be a great fight. Keyshawn Davis, Frank Martin would definitely be a great fight. But as Errol Spence stated, he said top rank, they got the young pup Keyshawn Davis on a short leash. I just don't see top rank legendary promoter, CEO Bob Arum, ESPN, making a fight with Frank Martin versus Keyshawn Davis at this point in time, because seeing as though Terence Crawford is not an ESPN fighter. Now, if you had Terence Crawford still with Top Rank and still with ESPN, and they're doing a joint promotional network deal with PBC and Showtime, then I can see them wanting to push for Keyshawn Davis to be on the undercard to get exposure on the fight, so on and so forth, right? And so with that said, seeing as though he's not with Top Rank, that being Terence Crawford, and the fight is going to solely be a Showtime PBC card, I highly doubt that they are going to be willing to make that fight happen with either Shakur Stevenson or Frank Martin. But Shakur Stevenson, he has more leeway and more pull and more opportunity to demand that he would like to go and make that fight. But even with Shakur Stevenson, I don't see them allowing it, because there's not a bunch of top-ranked fighters on the card. Again, if you had a top-ranked fighter, if Terence Crawford was a top-ranked fighter and this was a top-ranked promoted card, then they would, I could see them looking and allowing to make this happen. But seeing as though there will be no top-ranked fighters involved and on the card, I highly doubt, and I'm hard-pressed to see them allowing either Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis to go over there and fight Frank the Ghost Martin, okay? And seeing as though Keyshawn Davis is actually a bigger name, essentially, or about on the same level, and Shakur Stevenson is a bigger name than Frank Martin, right? That would mean the Top Rank would be in the driver's seat. They would be the A side, so they definitely would not allow their fighters to go be the B side on a PBC card. That's just simply not going to happen, okay? They are not interested in doing that. They will not be interested in doing that. And for that, you're not going to see that fight happen, neither one of these fights, okay? You're more likely to see Tank Davis or Devin Haney fighting Frank Martin, seeing as though they are free agents, okay? And they can move how they so choose, and Tank Davis has a relationship with Showtime. That's more realistic. But Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson is not realistic for Frank the Ghost Martin. So let's see how this all unfolds and plays out moving forward. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.